Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news folks. Today we're diving into some news that might just shake up the NFC West in 2025, and it involves a name that many of you are familiar with, especially if you follow the Seahawks closely. It's Drake Jackson. Yes, that's right. The same Drake Jackson, who was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, a team that's been a thorn in the side of Seattle in recent years. And now, he might be heading to the Seahawks, and if this move happens, it could be one of the most strategic acquisitions for Seattle this offseason. Let's set the stage here. For those of you who have been watching the NFL this offseason, the 49ers, as usual, had their eyes on strengthening their roster. Their goal was clear: beef up the pass rush and create more depth on their defensive line. They did just that by drafting Michael Williams, a player with a lot of upside, someone who could develop into a key piece for their defense. But in doing so, they also made a surprising move, cutting ties with Drake Jackson, a second-round pick from just a couple of seasons ago. Now, why would the 49ers do that? Well, it's partly because Jackson is still rehabbing from a knee injury, specifically a torn patellar tendon he suffered back in November 2023. That injury kept him out of the entire 2024 season, and the 49ers decided to waive him with a failed physical designation, meaning they don't see him as ready for the upcoming season just yet. However, the word from sources close to the team is that Jackson is expected to be cleared and ready for the start of training camp. So, he's not out of the game entirely. But here's where it gets interesting for the Seahawks. Imagine a player who's still young, just 24 years old with a lot of potential, a guy who's already shown flashes of what he can do. During his rookie season in 2022, Jackson registered 3 sacks and was a disruptive force on the edge. Sure, injuries have hampered his development over the past 2 seasons, but let's not forget, this is a player who has the raw talent and the athleticism to be a difference maker. Plus, he's familiar with the NFC West. Having played for the 49ers, he already knows the division's offensive schemes, the speed of the game, and the kind of competition he'll face week in and week out. Now, think about what that means for the Seahawks. They already have Boy Mafe, a promising young pass rusher who's shown he can develop into a solid player. But adding someone like Drake Jackson could elevate their pass rush to a whole new level. You see, Seattle's defense has been on the rise, especially with their young core. Uchenna Nwasu has been a reliable piece, and DeMarcus Lawrence with his experience adds veteran leadership. But what they really need is a cornerstone pass rusher, someone who can consistently threaten quarterbacks and change games from the edge. Jackson, given the right coaching and health, might just be that guy. And let's not forget the context here. The Seahawks are coming off a decent 2024 season, finishing with a 10-7 record, just missing out on the playoffs. They showed a lot of promise, especially on defense, but they know they need to take that next step. Their division rivals, the 49ers, have been tough, but the Seahawks have been closing the gap. Adding a player like Jackson could be strategic, not just for this season but for the future. He's young enough to grow and develop into a key piece for years to come. And if he can stay healthy, the Seahawks could have a dominant edge rushing duo with Boy Mafe and Drake Jackson. It's also worth mentioning that Jackson's upside is significant. During his rookie year, he flashed the potential that made him a high draft pick. His 3 sacks don't tell the whole story. He was disruptive, constantly forcing offenses to account for him. Now, with some more experience, and if he can get back to full health, he could be a game changer for Seattle's defense. And that's exactly what they need to compete at the highest level this upcoming season. Of course, there are questions. Will the Seahawks be able to sign him? Will he be fully recovered by training camp? And how will he adapt to the Seahawks' defensive schemes? But remember, this is a player who has already proven he can produce at the NFL level, and he's still very young. The Seahawks have a history of developing defensive talent, and with the right environment, Jackson could turn into a premier pass rusher. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this move, if it happens, could be more than just adding a player. It could be a statement from the Seahawks that they're serious about competing now and building for the future. They're recognizing the talent and potential in Jackson, and they're willing to take a gamble on his health and development. And honestly, that's the kind of bold move fans love to see, taking calculated risks to elevate the team. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, for Seahawks fans, it's exciting news. The possibility of adding a young, talented edge rusher who's familiar with the division and has shown flashes of brilliance is huge. It's a move that could pay dividends both immediately and down the line. Of course, we'll need to see how things unfold. Will the Seahawks sign him? Will Jackson be in top shape come training camp? But all signs point to the fact that this is a story worth watching. And let's be honest, the NFC West is already one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals are all making moves, and the Seahawks know they have to keep up, if not surpass, their rivals. Adding Jackson could give them that extra edge they need to not only contend but to make a real push deep into the playoffs and who knows, maybe even chase another Super Bowl. The team's young core, combined with strategic additions like this, could set up Seattle for a very exciting future. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Drake Jackson would be a perfect fit for the Seahawks? Do you believe he can recover fully from his injury and reach his potential in Seattle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're in this journey together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this incredible team.